All right, I think we're going to get started here with finding deals in today's market. I'm going to go ahead and share this into Facebook. Let me see if I can do this correctly. Oh, my phone's right here. All right, finding deals. I'm going to share it in my group. Oh, didn't work. All right. So where is the... Is my... can you see me? Are you here? Okay. Joining. I think it's back. All right, let me try this one more time. All right, coming on in. I think I had a bad connection there. I will go ahead and share here. Oops, I'm going to go on group and into retire through real estate investing. How are you today? Let me see. Retire early through real estate investing, and we'll go ahead and get started. All right. So welcome, welcome, welcome. As we go live, tell me where you're popping in from. If you want to type in the chat where you're chiming in from, and it's being live streamed and recorded. Here we go. Ta-da! I think you're waiting to connect to your audio. Super, super. So we got this going on. I want to come in here once a month. I come live so that I can help you guys find deals, close on deals, understand contracts. Mostly it's finding deals. So I know this market has been kind of crazy, and the level of the housing market that's gone crazy has been difficult for people to find deals. And so that's where I really want to structure this particular meeting. And if you have questions, I'm looking on Zoom and I'm looking on my Facebook Live. So go ahead and type in your comments and I'm happy to help you guys out. But basically, for those of you that don't know me, Joanna Wright, founder of Bottom Line Wealth, helping entrepreneurs to build wealth in real estate and keep more of the money they make through tax strategy. A lot of people forget that part of it, and they end up paying a boatload in taxes. So I'm here to get you guys started, finding deals and closing on deals, and then also building that whole wealth strategy so that you can create that generational wealth and have that time freedom we all look for, right? So welcome, welcome. Jumping into today's training. Basically, finding deals in today's market, there's a whole bunch of different ways. My client just closed on her third property, and I'm super proud. She went through my mastermind, my Retire Mastermind, and took some creative steps. Like, there's a lot of hashtag mind blown moments that she had in being able to even close on one property and not even really knowing how to find a deal, how to close on the property, or how to even understand any kind of wealth strategy that went with it. So a lot of what I do is based to help the entrepreneur to create a retirement plan and diversify assets, because I actually geek out on tax and legal. I'm not a CPA or an attorney, but I let you know what to ask your CPA and attorney so that you're paying next to zero in taxes, okay? So getting into real estate, whether you're an entrepreneur or W-2, you're brand spanking new, or you've closed on a couple of properties, you're in the right place. Okay, so as a W-2, you're paying the most in taxes, right? You're paying the most in taxes. So we want to get you either that side hustle of real estate or some side hustle business so that you're paying, little in taxes, and then building those assets in real estate. So the whole picture comes together. And if you need more information on that, we could jump on a call and I can explain how it works for you, because it's a little bit different for each person. So finding deals in today's market is all about being resourceful in, what do you have available to you? What is your environment like? What is your exit plan? Now, a lot of people get confused on when I say exit plan, they're like, I haven't even got started, Joanna. How am I supposed to know my exit plan? So by that, I mean, there's 4 different strategies. There's wholesale, fix and flip, buy and hold, and money lending, right? Those are the only 4 things you get to choose from. Okay, now don't get this confused with acquisition strategies like short sales, the burst strategy, lease options, so on and so on, right? Do not get that confused. There's so many acquisition strategies. There's only 4 exit strategies. You're either going to wholesale it, fix and flip it, buy and hold, or money lend. Okay, so these are the 2 that you're going to choose from. So according to what you're choosing is also how you're finding your leads. Now, if you're looking to do wholesale, and wholesale is buying at a discount, selling at a discount, so that you it can then be flipped to wholesale, to retail. Oh my goodness. So buying at a discount, selling at a discount, typically to a fix and flipper, where they end up fixing it and selling it at retail market. Okay. So if you're choosing wholesale, this is like your mainstream of business, getting leads. Now, I have a complete REI lead gen automated system where you can grab a hold of lists and advertise your website. It's all included. And you're just putting in, it's all listed out for a whole year's email campaign. They fill in the seller lead sheet, like it's all automated. So you look like a professional. And for professionals that already are a professional, it streamlines the whole process. So you're not having to pay an assistant, and you're generating leads and not in 50 different platforms to generate leads. You're just in one. Okay. So anyways, if you want to know more about that, go ahead and type in the comments. I'm happy to help you learn more. That is one way of generating leads, is through my REI lead generator. The other way is, I have 6 ways to Sunday to get this done. I've done it multiple ways. I've knocked on doors. I've cold called. I've done so many different things, and over the years, and closed 3.5 million in real estate investments. So I've got an idea of how to talk to a seller, how to find the leads and talk to a seller. So the first thing I want you to understand is networking, right? Like networking is like the number one thing, which is probably why you've joined Meetup or different REIs in your area, because it's super important to network with other real estate investors. So like I said, if you're doing this for a wholesale and you're running it as a business, there's a whole system we have set up for that. Now, let's say you're doing a fix and flip, right? Same thing. You need constant leads coming in, because this is the active side of real estate investing, whereas the passive side is more money lending and buy and hold, right? So if you're looking for leads in that capacity, that REI lead generator system works for both wholesale and fix and flip. Now, let's just say you're buying and holding, and you're like, well, I'm just get on the phone with a realtor and I'm talking with her and we can't get anything on the market. We're outbid and it's just crazy market out there. Yeah, I get it. Everyone's arguing and outbidding each other online. So I take it offline. I get properties offline. And there's multiple ways that you can do this. And I believe that's why we're all here today, right? Let's get that secret sauce of getting leads off market. Okay. So the first thing I have to ask you is, what kind of time do you have to put into this? So if you have plenty of time to put into this, you could do the work yourself And if you don't, we have ways of leveraging, right? Through the REI lead generator system, or you can hire a VA to grab the lists and make calls for you, okay? Which is a whole nother strategy. But let's just focus on you're doing it yourself, right? So you can hear all the different ways. So even if you wanted to get a VA, you could just tell them to do it, right? And you're familiar with it. So basically, you would want to pick a niche that is a type of seller, divorced, foreclosures, pre-foreclosures. Please do not, if you're brand spanking new, here's my little caveats. Please do not touch bank-owned foreclosed properties, auction block properties. Do not touch those. You're just going to get your ass handed to you. That's all I got to say. You're just going to get your ass handed to you. It may look like a sweet deal because it's saying $50,000. By the end of the auction, it's going to be $150,000. So you'll get your ass handed to you, and you have to have all cash there. Okay. So please stay away from those. It's an advanced investor strategy. So choosing your motivated seller, you're going to look at, am I going to look at pre-foreclosures? So pre-foreclosures is a timed window, right? So you need those right away. You don't want to deal with somebody that's 2 days away from the auction block. There's just not enough time, especially if you're a new person. As an advanced investor, I mean, I got to cut it off at 7 days. Like I need a chance to scrub title and go through and, get all the paperwork done through title. So I don't even like to do it past a couple of weeks, right? Or a couple of weeks till the end before it goes to auction. So there's secret ways, best ways to be able to talk to the bank and get a forbearance, and maybe you can extend the time. So I'd always shoot for that first. If you're talking to somebody and they say they only got 7 days, shoot for the forbearance and try and get that extended so that you have time to make a deal. And the number one reason that they will allow a forbearance is if they're in contract. So that is one way to save someone in pre-foreclosure. And I'm speaking a lot towards pre-foreclosure because there's that whole tsunami of them coming down the pike. And you got to know what's going on there. So be ready for the leads coming in, okay? There's a lot of divorce happening through the financial crisis that's happened this past year. And it's going to grow because now that evictions are up, foreclosures are up, all of that is going to the wayside. Then, well, who's suffered? Who suffered in all of that, right? So now here comes reality. There's no more stimulus checks. Now they come out with other stuff, don't get me wrong, but the stimulus checks are gone, and they're able to evict. They're able to do the foreclosures. So now where this next set of drama hits, right? This next set of drama hits. So really focus in on how you can serve those particular people. And you don't just call in and lowball them. This is a whole nother Zoom talk that we can talk about, is how to talk to sellers, right? Don't just lowball them. There's so many ways that you can make creative offers. And that's what I teach my students do. And that's the secret sauce behind how they're closing on their properties. They do more than one, right? I just had one closing on her third property. So it's just a matter of creating that situation and seeing how to close it, right? And I'll get to that towards the end. But if you're looking at pre-foreclosures, you can get a list. You can go to the court and ask for notice of defaults. Ask for notice of defaults. You can get the list in your area. You can also ask a title company to do it, or a title attorney. You'll have to pay those fees. And then you can also have a realtor. They could possibly help you. Depends on your state and county of what's going on. And then also knowing attorneys. So attorneys are going to have a lot on their plate for the next year or so, with, again, all divorce, disgruntled landlords, and foreclosures, right? So real estate attorneys, divorce attorneys, family law, there's a lot of probate that is happening. And none of this is new. I'm saying this like, oh, it's happening now because no, it's not new. It's just like in a big bulk right now. because you know how when you get on the freeway and you're going down a 2-lane or 4-lane road and it goes down to 2 lanes and it kind of ends up bottlenecking. Well, we've had 4 lanes open for how long now? And now we've closed them off to just 2 lanes. And so it's all going to bottleneck. And there's going to be this bulk of probate and foreclosures and divorce and all of these things happening because everything was pushed off with, getting the checks in the mail and, everyone's on unemployment and nobody wants to work. And so all of this is coming to a head, if you will. It's bottlenecking, it's coming to a head and some decisions are going to need to be made. And that's where a lot of speaking to sellers is going to come into play, which I can have a whole nother session on how to speak to sellers. Okay. So that you can close on the deal at least 86% of the time is what I can pretty much guarantee. Anyway, so there's a lot of relocation that's happened. People diving out of California, moving to Tennessee or Idaho or Texas. A lot of people moving out of New York, heading into Pennsylvania and, surrounding states, as those are, a lot of issues going on in those particular states and high-end market where people can't afford it anymore. It's just shot through the roof. So they're thinking they're going to go to Midwest. And if you're trying to find a market, if you're wholesaling, fix and flipping or buy and holding or money lending, any of those things, find the niche that works for you, the location that works for you. I do have a particular client who's in the UK, who's wholesaling in America. So you don't have to be in the same neighborhood if you're doing wholesale. You also don't need to be in the same neighborhood if you're fix and flipping, if you're an advanced investor, not a newbie, right? I don't suggest it if you're newbie. I do have another training where I help you understand how to do 6-figure flips remotely. That's another Zoom. But also, if you're doing a buy and hold, so here's a question to ask yourself. Do you want to see your tenants at the grocery store? Or do you want them far away, like in another state? Does it have to be close to you? Do you have to see it? Do you need to feel it and touch it? Or do you mind if it's in another state? Because that could change everything. So I have a student in Colorado. And she had said, well, I can't afford Colorado. And we figured out where she likes to go. And she's doing a buy and hold, or did a buy and hold in Virginia. So we saved a tax strategy for her because she travels there all the time. And now it's a business write-off because she traveled there to see her family. And now it's a business write-off because she's going to see her investment property. Okay, so I'm throwing in little geeky nuggets that I have for you as we talk about finding leads. But again, not knowing the exit strategy that you're choosing, I'm giving you examples of all of them. Okay, so you can go to the court, you can go to the title company, a realtor, you can buy leads lists. Okay, you can go to PropStream, you can go to ListSource. There's so many different, you just Google lists, and that's something I don't teach my students to do. Anything you can Google, I don't teach. I can give you resources to Google, but basically I teach strategy, not tactic or anything like that. So I teach strategy, how it works for you personally, okay? Because it's not a one size fits all industry. You could buy lead lists. You can import them into my REI lead generator system and then let all of that do it for you. I mean, literally, you could have someone, just have it uploaded and have it all done for you. The website's already built. You can just add your logo or your different colors. And the system is already set up so that when someone does land on your page, they want a cash offer, it's all written out in script, and they have to fill out the form. I give you script to talk to the seller. Making an option, it's a 3-option deal that I usually send out. It's my creative way that I do it. It's not normally taught in our industry. However, it's mostly in commercial that we do this, because mostly commercial investments are with investors. There isn't much newbie commercial peeps, right? So most of the newbies and homeowners are in residential, and this helps you look like a pro and know what to say right away. So the 3 options helps the seller to choose an option, and so that you can close on pretty much every single lead, just about, that comes through your website. I mean, it makes it really simple to close on somebody. And I say that in a very loving way, because closing to me is someone finally has closure, not close like I'm a high salesperson, I don't care about your feelings, right? No, it's somebody has closure and they feel relief, right? That someone's going to help them with their real estate challenge. And that's what I offer, okay? You can, if you have a relationship with a bail bondsman, you'd be surprised how many leads they have where someone needs to hustle and sell their house because they put up their house for someone's bail and they skipped. I can't tell you how many times that has happened in the world, and how many times I've heard people say, oh my God, and they have to sell their house. It's really sad, but they're the ones that put up the house, and now they're in a pickle, and now you need to help them out. That is a lead. That is a real estate lead. Excuse me. You'd be surprised at how quick they'll sell it. Excuse me while I get this water. Let me just check on the Facebook and make sure. I thought I had the questions pulled up here, so I apologize for the intermission, but I want to make sure I'm answering everyone's questions. I apologize for the intermission. Well, you heard that we're there, right? We're good to go. All right. All right. All right. So we're good to go. So bandit signs are another way of doing this. You can have bandit signs. That is the oldest and still most effective way. Some people might say it doesn't work, but it does. Okay, here we are. You still with me? Okay. Yay. All right. So bandit signs still work. And I mean, We Buy Houses are usually wholesalers. They're other investors. You can put out signs that are We Buy Houses as well. And you do get some homeowners that call, but a lot of wholesalers call on it as well, because you can co-wholesale something. So collaborating with another investor is just unheard of, right? So many people don't want to do that. They're like, it's my lead. But the more you collaborate and the more you work together, the funner it is and the more leads you have, right? So let me give you an example. One of my students that was doing a lead in Martinez, California, he actually collaborated with another investor and was able to do a flip together, and they split the profits. So, I mean, there's all kinds of ways to work this system, and I would be happy to jump on a call and help you guys find a path that works for you. Because I can go on and on about lead gen, speaking to sellers, creative real estate investing, all the different things to do with it. But bandit signs are still good. You can co-wholesale something if you're wholesaling, right? And if you're fixing and flipping, It's a way to generate leads because wholesalers will call on that. Okay. And wholesalers basically feed fix and flippers so that they don't have to waste the time finding another lead so that their crew doesn't leave them. Right. So you got to have systems. We rely on wholesalers. We need wholesalers. Okay. I buy from wholesalers, and I was a huge wholesaler myself. So this is why I train on wholesale, fix and flip, buy and hold, and money lending, because I've done all four of those. I've done all four of those in max capacity. Okay. In doing wholesale, when I would serve my fix and flippers, I made a whole packet and everything. So I have a special wholesale class that I've done where I go over the exact packet that, everything that I include in it when I present it to an investor, and they're just like, wow, that's amazing. And I could probably do it for cheaper. I'm like, okay, great. Just pay me my 10 grand or my 20 grand and the house is all yours, right? So I'm very conservative with my numbers, and investors love that. Investors love that. So I don't do as much wholesaling now. I do more fix and flip and buy and hold, as I'm a wealth building strategist. So pulling all of that together has made me pretty well rounded, right? It's made me pretty well rounded. And how did I do all this? This is why I'm training on leads, how to find leads in your market, right? You got to have leads to do all that kind of real estate that I've done. Driving for dollars is always a famous one, right? Driving around and seeing what's new, what's different in the neighborhood, that maybe you see the grass is now different, or the newspapers, or it used to be when we got newspapers piled up, or the garbage cans have sat out there for a month. Nobody's tended to them. Like something's going on with that house. You'll see the more you drive the neighborhood. Okay. Now this is if you're choosing that as your niche market, the more you drive that neighborhood, you're going to see patterns of things happening. And then you stick a note on their door and say, hey, I'm an investor looking to purchase in this area. I'd love to talk to you about your house. Done. That's it. Name, number, done. Or you can just do name, number. I need to talk to you. And then, you don't even have to say it's about their house. Just call me. I want to talk to you. Here's my name. Here's my number. Call me. And bird dogs are really, bird dogs are important. Bird dogs are somebody like the mailman, the postman, or UPS guy I meant, and any delivery source like Uber Eats, or DoorDash, someone who's running errands, right? They can become your driving for dollars, people. They become your driving for dollars. This is a way to leverage a little bit, right? So if you're brand spanking new and you have the time to do this, you could do everything I'm telling you. But also if you're an entrepreneur or you're working full time, this is a way to leverage. You can have somebody else do stuff, right? So to choose where you're at. But driving for dollars, you can have a bird dog do that. So let the postman know, hey, do you have any vacant houses that you're like, you've been delivering the mail to, and you think it might be vacant, could you hit me up and give me the address? I'd love to check it out. Like they could do that. A UPS guy can do that. He's driving around the neighborhood and he sees a pattern, sees something different, with houses, and go, I think this one might need your help, and so you go check it out, and you could pay them a referral fee. So that makes it more incentive for them to do it. Now, depending where you're at, I've paid as much as $1,000 for a referral fee. But in Pennsylvania here, some of the houses are like 30,000. So I might pay like $500, so depends on where you're at. And now I have to close on it, right? I have to close on it in order to get that. But just getting leads, you might pay someone $10, $20 for the lead, right? A valid lead. You can't just have someone handing you addresses, right? So there's a way to train somebody to do that. But I'm just saying it's a way to leverage to get more leads. Okay. But the biggest one I know, and the biggest one that's helped me, where I've gotten a lot of my leads from, is word of mouth. So I've been doing real estate for quite a while now, over 20 years. And the more I speak real estate, the more real estate comes to me. Okay. I get deals sent to me all the time. Most of them not making sense because people don't understand how to do return on investment and understand repairs. So that's a whole nother training that I do to help people to understand their numbers so they know what they're looking at, and they hand an investor something of value instead of just an address with, I think it's 15 grand for repairs. I'm not sure. No. You need to be sure. You need to show evidence of what it is going to be. Okay. And that's that packet that I was talking about. But word of mouth is like the biggest one, as it really covers a warmness, right? Like people go, oh my God, yeah, no, Joanna does this all the time. And I had a referral from, again, my student in Colorado. She does coaching, and she was coaching one of her students in California who had an investment property in Atlanta. So she goes, oh, well, I got the perfect person. So she referred her to me, right? And so I ended up buying the house. There were many things went down with that. And at the very end, I ended up buying the house because she's like, I just can't deal with it. I'm like, okay, well, maybe I'll buy it. So I did. And there was no competition. It wasn't on the MLS. It wasn't on anything. There was no haggling for prices. It was just, here, this is my offer. She's like, oh yeah, okay, well, okay. That was it. So you'd be amazed how word of mouth happens. Now, another way that word of mouth happens is, you have friends and family, right? And I'm not saying you're going to just badger them all the time with real estate investing, but you could talk about the market, today's market, and what's going on in the government, with the housing and the finances, right? And you could have someone, a friend or a family member that lives in an apartment, and she's going, this landlord, right? The landlords are so upset. So many people not paying rents and stuff. And most landlords don't know my wealth strategy way. So they were not prepared to have to pay a year's worth of mortgages and not be able to rent out their property. So there's a lot of disgruntled landlords, people that thought they could do real estate on their own. They bought a house and now they don't know what to do because they did not prepare themselves. My point in that is, so maybe that's a lead, right? So where they live, the address where they live, get to know who the owner is of that apartment building and possibly make an offer on it. Now, if you need help and structure on that, then that's a whole nother Zoom call. But if you're ready to go, if you're ready to buy apartments or a house that someone lives in and a disgruntled landlord, then I would definitely call that landlord and say, hey, what would it take to buy this property? And then let the conversation lend to itself. Okay. So networking is huge. Word of mouth. Get in there and start talking to people. Wholesalers co-wholesale with other wholesalers, and fix and flippers need wholesalers, and buy and hold people need wholesalers. And then, it all just scoops up together, right? Do not do yellow letters. If you're brand spanking new, you don't want to send out postcards. You don't want to send out postcards because it costs money. Let's just start with that. Okay. Most people that are starting in real estate investing don't have a ton of extra money. They have some, but not a ton of extra money. And most successful postcards and yellow letters are when you can spend around 10 grand a month. Okay. That's an advanced investor strategy. And consistently, not just 1 month. So even if you thought, okay, well, let's just cut this in a third of what I could do. I could do $500 a month, right? In mailers. And then you realize 3 months in, you're going, oh, this is a lot and I'm not really getting a return. And then you get frustrated and then you quit. Well, you have to keep going. And that's a lot of money to spend on something that you don't even know if you got the verbiage right. You don't know if you're hitting anybody. And I got to tell you, industry standard is it's about a 1% return. So 1% of 500, that's really not, you're lucky to bang on one person's door and say hello. Okay. So I would say stay away from yellow letters, and then automation, no like ring dropping, sending voicemails that go to their phone that looks like it was a live call. Oh, sorry, I missed you, but it's all in their voicemail and it was never a missed phone call. People don't like those. I don't like those unless it's a reminder of something I'm in already, like in my group. They just do drop voicemails. But a cold lead to just drop into their voicemail is not appreciated by many, right? Or emailed by, any kind of coldness, people don't appreciate. They like more of a warm, inviting way to connect. And that's where my REI lead generator comes in. They choose to go to the website. They choose to click on and add information. It's in their terms, right? It's not you banging on their door. Hey, give me your info, right? Big difference. So hopefully all this is making sense to you guys. I want to make sure, take a little temperature check here. What do I got? A couple of questions here. How much do you need to start? So to start what exactly? So is that to start in real estate, to start mailing out yellow letters, to start with my program, to start with the REI lead gen? What particular, to start what exactly? I think Sohail is the name. What exactly are you looking to start? And I can help you out there. Program and the lead gen. Absolutely. So that is specific to, let's go ahead and jump on a call so I can explain exactly what it is. The program, so it's a 12-month program. And I want to make sure that you get all the details. So I don't want to take away from the lead gen training here, but definitely, let me see here. If you want to type in your email or your phone number, I can connect with you and give you all the details to that. So getting back to the lead gen training, you have the 6 sources that I've listed, other ways to find leads. Okay, you can go, believe it or not, they're still using eBay. They're still using eBay for some sources. Zillow, I have a whole little training I do on plugging in certain filters so that you can find leads on Zillow. You can make yourself a little map if you're going to do it in the area that you can walk, or you can give it to somebody to leverage to have them go walk it. Okay. You could do Craigslist. I love using Redfin. For sale by owner is a website that you can go to. Most for sale by owners are not motivated. So you're looking more for the motivated seller. Super, I got your email. I'll go ahead and I'll send you that info. I just want to put it here real quick. There I am. Almost lost me for a second. Anyway, so save chat. Perfect. Going on Craigslist, Redfin, for sale by owners are not normally that motivated. They are looking at getting the highest price. They think they have the best deal. They have gold-plated nails in their house. So they think it's worth more than it really is. So I go over with my students how to do a nice little reality check, bring them down to earth, right, on what it really costs. And then a good way to figure out the rents in the area. So sometimes when you're looking to wholesale something out, or even if you're going to fix and flip or buy and hold, you might want to know what the rents are in the neighborhood, even on money lending, so that you know your note's covered. So knowing the rents gives you that security of, okay, so the note could possibly be or is this much, and the rent is that much, right? And a way to figure that out is to go to rentometer.com. Again, that's rentometer.com. it gives you like your first 3 for free. And you just plug in the address and the 2-bedroom, 1-bath, whatever it may be. And it will give you like a meter of, hot or cold, and then the medium price, right? So there's, and property managers is a great way. So building relationships with property managers helps you to, they know if they have a disgruntled landlord going on, they know if there is, something going on, someone's getting ready to sell. So have your relationship going with a property manager. There's tons of them out there. Some of them are realtors as well. So they're going to be looking for the listing. But if something needs to sell quickly, they may, look to you as the investor, needs a lot of repairs. They were a slumlord, whatever. And then you can jump in there and make the repairs, or get it under contract and wholesale it to a fix and flipper that makes repairs. Or you could do the BRRRR strategy, right? You can get in there, fix it, and hold it yourself. Like, there's so many different things that you can do. And I love all the creative strategies. It brings out the mad scientist in me for real estate investing. So those are some of the different ways to find deals in today's market. But again, word of mouth would be number one. Word of mouth is number one. If you want to leverage this system, I would just buy a list, slam it in there. I don't necessarily like too many different softwares. And the reason I say that is because sometimes you don't know the lists that you're buying. It may be old. I mean, I sold a property in California, 2017, I sold it. And I'm still getting, I'll get a yellow letter in the mail. I'll get calls on, hey, are you selling that property? I'm like, do you guys not see that it was sold a long time ago? They got an old list. Okay. So know that happens. But if you're doing this in yourself, you want to make sure that you're looking for keywords in, like if you go into Craigslist, you want to look for motivated seller, reduced price, TLC, contractor special, stuff like that, so that you can get through all the weeds of what's on Craigslist and get to the meat of why you're there in the first place. Okay. So another thing that I wanted to add about automated systems is there's automated systems out there where they say that they can do the comps for you, and don't buy those apples. Do not buy those apples. I got to tell you, they're not really correct. They're not really accurate. And when in my training where I go over your return on investment and how to understand repairs, I help you to understand that there's an ugly price and there's a pretty price, which is the ARV, right? And computers, any kind of computer generated system that says, oh, just look at this property and we'll generate all the stuff for you so that you know the offer to make, don't trust it. Don't trust it. I have used them, and I mean, I've used 3 or 4. So if you find one that you think is absolutely fabulous that I haven't used before, then, by all means, help yourself. But I got to tell you, they're not real accurate. And by that, because they're including the ugly prices with the pretty prices. And you really need to know what the difference is, not an average. You want to know what the difference is. And so when I say, another reason I say this is like, even in Redfin, let's just go to a public platform that you don't pay for. You go to redfin.com and it shows you at the very bottom, there's some comps or recently sold is what it says in the area. And they're supposed to be like comparables to the property that you're looking at. And they could be 5 miles away. They could be a 4-bedroom house and you're looking at a 2-bedroom house. Like it's not even close to a comp in the neighborhood. And that, if you look at the little line above recently sold, it says the average price in the area per square foot. Well, they're basing it off of way different types of properties. So you need to go in there and see exactly what it is that they're doing. This is what I teach my students to do, to think a little bit differently, okay? To think a little bit differently and to think, period. Mostly because that generated system is making it so that you don't have to think. And you think you have a good deal when you really don't. And this is where people they get their ass handed to them because they thought that they had a good deal in hand and they closed on it. And in reality, they did not. So I just want to keep you guys safe in doing real estate investing. So keywords looking for owner will carry, contractor special, bring tools, fire damage. Some people have a niche. They just do fire damage properties like that. That's their jam. So you'll figure out your way. You'll pace your way through. But again, the main way is always be speaking real estate, word of mouth, bring it up somehow, some way, talk about the market, talk about our government and housing situations, or just talk about your own. Hey, this is what I learned today, right? This is what I learned, and bring something up about real estate. So I have a contractor friend who was, learning the real estate investing side of it. And he's like, oh, I learned this today. Oh, I learned that today. And so people started coming after about 6 months. People in his contractor site were coming to him. Hey, you're the real estate guru. I need help. And he's like, what? I'm no real. But it's because he was talking about real estate all the time. And he became the go-to person for real estate. And he calls me up. He's like, hey. So he became my referral person because he was always learning something new about real estate. Because we hung out, right? So some action steps that I would love to give to you. First of all and foremost, I'll go ahead and I'll give you a buzz. Let me see here. You'll receive an email from Joanna at joannawright.net. So look for that. But any questions so far in anything that I've covered so that I can make sure that you're moving in the best foot forward? That was a lot we covered. That was a lot we covered. Super. Okay, I think we're good to go. I will go ahead and I will touch base with you on my program and let you know what's going on with that. And then with that, let me check on here. I didn't check the Facebook questions, see if there was any questions. No, we're good to go. All right. Well, you guys have a wonderful day. And again, I'm here every month doing these. And in my Facebook group, I do a weekly training. So on Wednesdays, so if you want to join in the Retire Early Through Real Estate Investing Facebook group, you can too. Absolutely. Cool. Glad I was able to help you. All right. Take care. I'll see you guys in the next one.